Nós vamos agora acompanhar, então, o senhor Roland, ele que é da Hitachi, Zosen e Inova.
Good morning. Bom dia a todos. My name is Roland Greil, working as a sales director for Hitachi Zosen Inova in Switzerland. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you virtually. Thank you to ABGD and Grupo FRG for the invitation. I will talk how HZI can contribute in the development of waste-to-energy solutions in Brazil. We're producing a lot of waste every year more because of increasing population, economic growth, and urbanization. And this growth is very fast. It's faster than the increase of population. So this waste management is a challenge everywhere. And it is polluting. It has a huge effect on our climate, on global warming, because landfills are producing a lot of methane gas emissions, which are 25 times stronger climate gas than greenhouse gas than CO2. So the contribution on the overall emissions is significant. Today, landfills are relatively cheap, but the cost will increase because there is almost no space for new landfills. You have a high cost for transportation. You have increasing compliance costs, so you have to follow higher standards, and you have to operate them even when they do not receive waste anymore. And very important, they are not sustainable. I mean, they occupy territory, human habitat, it's wasted. They pollute groundwater as atmosphere for centuries, and generate also emissions for transport to remote locations. And very important, you cannot benefit from the value that is in the waste. So you cannot recover ecological and economic valuable resources from the waste. So these are the challenges. So they have lack of landfill capacity, the environmental impact. You have the demand for energy, for fertile soil, for resources like metals. For example, you have the global warming effect, and waste to energy has the solutions. So we can protect the human habitat, protect groundwater, protect people from diseases. We can benefit from the energy content, generate electricity, produce for the organic fraction compost, and recover materials like metals. And we reduce the effect and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So who is Hitachi Zosen Inova? We are the global lead in waste to energy. We are a company based in Zurich with a headquarters in Zurich, having offices in various locations. And we are in this business for more than 85 years. We do build plants. We also operate and we maintain waste to energy plants and other solutions that we provide. We are part of the Hitachi Zosen Corporation group in Japan. So originally they used our technology when we were Fonroll. So we started with the first plant 1937-39 in the Netherlands. Basically only a destruction of waste, no benefiting from the resource. And Hitachi Zosen Corporation used our technology since the 60s as a licensee. And since 2010, we came together and are now in the same group. We don't only build plants, so we have our own technology. We build the plant as a system solution or EPC turnkey. And as mentioned before, we also operate and maintain plants, but we also can support in the financing and development and engineering of a project. Waste energy is a part of the circular economy. So we are all producing waste, we're consuming, producing more and more waste, which is polluting our environment. So in many countries, it goes still to landfills. So it can pollute the groundwater and methane emissions, which is a very strong greenhouse gas. I mentioned before, 25 times stronger than CO2. And by this also polluting our food. I mean, waste plastic goes to the rivers, to lakes, to the sea. and we get it back in our food, in the fish that we eat. Raw material is used to produce those products and to generate electricity. And what we have to do first is to try to reduce, of course, the amount of waste that we are producing. Then, of course, recycle material that has a value and can be recycled, and benefit from the rest in the thermal recycling in a waste-to-energy plant. So by this, we can compensate CO2 emissions from energy production, which is a bit less relevant in Brazil because more than 80% is renewable energy in Brazil. And we can avoid pollution from landfills and have a positive impact on greenhouse gas emissions. So for non-recyclable waste fraction from municipalities, as well as from industry and commerce, waste to energy is the solution to benefit from the energy content and material that is in the waste. Also for a remaining fraction from the recycling industry, I mean, material which goes to the recycling is not 100% recycled. So there's always a reject, which also has to be treated somehow. And this also goes to the waste to energy plant. What is waste to energy? What is the purpose of waste to energy? So first, it's a volume reduction and a destruction of toxic substances, and concentrating the non-destructible toxic fractions in small amounts, which can be well controlled. And of course, we benefit from the energy content, so we recover energy by this process that is in the waste, and also for material that is in the bottom ash and in flue gas treatment residue. So material, metals, ferrous, non-metals, ferrous metals that cannot be separated upfront, but can be separated from the residues from the combustion. So waste has a value. It's not only the material that we can recover, it's also the energy. So 1 ton is, with a certain heating value, has about the energy content of 200 kilograms of oil and can generate at least 700 kilowatt hours of electricity. And with higher heating values, of course, you can generate up to 1 megawatt hour per ton of waste. Also, of course, depending on the efficiency of a plant. So here you see what a modern waste to energy plant can reach as net efficiency today. For the bioorganic fraction, for the organic fraction, we have other solutions. We have the anaerobic digestion. So all the organic fraction, which is preferably separated at the source, clean fractions from food markets, from the food industry, for example, in the first instance, and also from agriculture, can go either to a dry AD solution, shown here, or to a wet AD solution. So we have both technologies in-house, and also the solutions for biogas upgrading the biogas produced to biomethane. This is the dry process, the compogas fermenter. So where you feed that you feed with food waste and green waste, and produce in this fermenter the biogas, and that you can use as a fuel, to upgrade it to a fuel, to biomethane, and use it in the grid system, or directly as a fuel for vehicles, or if that is not possible, generate electricity. And you can benefit from the organic content, from the organic material, and use it as a fertilizer. Basically, the wet solution is similar. It's just the input material is slightly different. I will focus now on waste to energy. So there are very high demands on waste to energy solutions today. Very stringent limits for emissions, for example. We have to build cost-optimized plant to make a project feasible, of course. Efficient solution to minimize the operational cost. High performance to maximize the revenue, design it for a long lifetime, and of course, protect people during construction and during operation. We have all technology in-house. So for the combustion boiler section, flue gas treatment solutions, residue treatment for bottom ash, flue gas treatment residues, fly ashes, as well as water in case of a wet system, and also energy utilization. So we can really deliver plants with high capacity. So we can deliver today plants with a capacity in a single line of up to 120 megawatt fuel input, or about 55 tons per hour waste input. And this combustion plant can treat treated or non-treated municipal solid waste, commercial waste, and commercial and comparable waste fraction, as well as RDF, or for example, and can also co-combust sewage sludges. For the flue gas treatment, we have different solutions. So depending on the local requirements and the situation, a dry system, Xerosorb, semi-dry system, combination with wet systems, or only wet system. And for the NOx, we typically use a SNCR process, also our dyno process, which is reducing NOx emissions down to a limit below 80 milligrams. Sometimes even more stringent emission limits are requested for NOx, and then we would go to a catalytic solution. You see here an example on the left side, emissions measured at the plant here. You see here for the average of the two lines. This is the old European standard, which was valid until 2 years ago. And here you see emissions well below these already very low limits. Europe has now introduced new emission limit standards, which are even lower. So it's a range here that is compared to the old standard. That is the new standard, so the lower and upper range. And you can see our solution and the plant built based on the old standard can even fulfill the new emission limits in Europe. And this allows to build plants in the middle of cities, like here in Paris. So this plant is 3 kilometers away from the Eiffel Tower. And of course, because of the central location, reduces very much the traffic. I mean, collection trucks go directly to the waste energy plant. So we wrap all together. So we have all the technology. So this is a unique situation. We have the EPC experience, but also all technologies in-house. So we can wrap everything and provide integrated solution with maximum efficiency and reliable execution. We also manage civil works activities, but of course we don't do that in all markets. So in markets where we are not locally present, we team up with a strong local partner. The same we will do, of course, in Brazil. This is our track record in the UK. So 18 plants built or in construction over the last, 12, 13 years. UK was the biggest market in Europe by far. And we have been very successful. And you can see all this have been EPC turnkey deliveries, including our technology. A good example, if you go to YouTube and search for Rukir South construction progress, you will find 4 movies showing the construction of a plant in the UK. Very interesting to see. So Europe was our home base. Many plants have been built in the past in Europe, but currently we are active in many other markets. So we developed a project in India. The first plant has been built some years ago. The second plant is now in construction. We have built the plant in Turkey, which we will see later. We are currently building the plant in Dubai and Australia. We had a project developed in Mexico, which is unfortunately on hold. It would have been the first project in Latin America. And we deliver also combustion grades to our licensees in China to build a waste energy plant in China. China was the biggest market in the world, 2/3 of the worldwide volume, and plants have been built in the last 10, 15 years in China. And you see also the AD, that is anaerobic digestion. So we built anaerobic digestion project in China, Sweden, and in the US, California. So an example here, the biggest plant in Europe is in Turkey. The plant is in operation now for more than a year, designed for very, very low heating value, lower than what you would expect in Brazil, but has still a good efficiency of around 29%. Another example is Rockingham, Australia. Also here in cooperation with a partner, a local partner that has a good track record locally to build that plant. And the biggest plant in the world, contracted as a single project, is in Dubai, currently in construction. So the first 2 units of the total 5 units will start to generate electricity in a year. And in spite of the very high ambient temperatures in Dubai, this plant has a net electrical efficiency of 31%. Also in this project, with a partner that is taking care of the civil works activities. And in this project, very interesting, we also will operate this plant together with the same partner for 35 years. So here you see the market, how it has been developed in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. You see here in this row the number of contracts or plants awarded in each year. So there was much more awarded in 2020, and we had an incredible high market share in that year. Over the last years, close to 50%. Over the whole period, let's say 1/3. And I think 21 was even a bit better than 2020. So beside all these other aspects that we have seen, financing is a very, very important aspect in realizing this kind of project. And we as HZI, as a Swiss company, can provide ECA-covered financing with the support of the Swiss Export Credit Agency, SERV. We as HZI, we are experienced, we have a strong financial background, and we can support O&M. And this is, I mean, if you look here on the factors that are relevant for lenders, for banks to finance a project, very important aspect where we can contribute as company, as a technology provider, as EPC. So we can deliver proven, mature technology. We are experienced. We have a significant balance sheet together with our parent company, and we have experience in O&M. So if you're on the left side, if you have a good, can keep your risk low, that is very relevant and yeah, is necessary to make projects happen. I mean, you will fail if you go with solutions technical solutions that are not proven or contracted that are not experienced. So thank you for your attention. So I'm happy to receive your questions. Please also contact me by emails. You can write in Portuguese if you like. I can understand that, but I will most likely answer your emails in English. So thank you, and looking forward to your questions.